I'm making this video to show you guys how to fill in a spot of drywall that needs to be put in. As you can see, I've put support behind it. That's the number one thing you need, is support for the drywall that you're putting up. No support, you'll get cracking later. All right, real quick, I'm gonna try and make this video as quick as I could for you. And what I had here was an odd shape that the guy put a D-vent inside of this wall, but that's not important. Anyways, I had to fill in this odd shape. What I did real quick, if you guys can capture this shape, there's a piece of paper there. I put two together, laid it against it, ran my fingers along the edges, and I got that shape. That was the quickest way I can capture that shape. I cut it out, put it up against this piece here, and now we're back over here, and I had this big piece, had to fit it in. I tucked it under there. You probably don't have to tuck it as long as you screw it all in, but I did. So this next piece, I split it in two because I couldn't get it in place. As you can see, I made sure it fits. As long as you got support behind it, you're good. I'm gonna now put a bunch of screws in on this. We're gonna tape it and then putty it, and we should be good to go. If you've never drywall compounded before or put in drywall, it's a process, and you might think, how is that ever gonna look perfectly smooth like this? It will. It's a repetitive process, like you would drywall it, sand it, drywall it, sand it, drywall it, sand it, and the more you do it, you get a perfectly smooth wall. This one needs a couple more layers. You can see a little bit of bumps and stuff like that, but eventually it will be just so smooth that you can run your hand across it and ready to paint. All right, so let's get to the next step. All right, I'm trying to do this with one hand to show you guys the proper way to put this in. Is don't crack the paper, but put it flush enough where it's deep enough that when you go to compound it, it is deep. Let me see, I'll try to put the drill down. Bear with me with the shaky video right here. Where'd my screw go? Right here. You see how it's deeper than this, so that drywall can fill into there. That's the plan, and make sure that all your, as long as your support behind it is flush up against the back of the drywall you have here, then this will be also flush. So that's the goal. I've got a bunch of screws in here, so it's well supported, no shaking, that's what you want, and we're ready to start putting the tape on. Tape that I put down, you just crease it in the corner. One side is a little bit sticky, and you just rub your nails on it, rub your fingers on it, get it into the crevice that you want, and tape on where it needs to be. And just make sure that you are covering all the cracks. This stuff acts like rebar for concrete, but it's drywall, so it's pretty much what it does. You can see I've got it in my corners and all that. Oh, I actually missed a spot right there. I want to put a piece right there, and next we're gonna put the putty on it. Putting up drywall, you're gonna want one of these, I think they're called spatulas or whatever the heck you call them, putty knife, whatever you want to call it. I got a good size wide one. They come in different sizes. Like a 2-inch, 4-inch. This is probably like a 6-inch. Real quick, those only cost about $1. Blue cap, easier to sand, easier to work with. Green cap on your drywall compound, it's a lot harder, a lot stronger material, just a lot harder to work with. Which one do I recommend? I don't know. Obviously, I'm using the blue one. I want to get this done quick and easy, and we're gonna start putting right now up in this area. All right, put my bucket up here, close to where I can get to it. We're just gonna start shoving it into the cracks. Oh, this is all getting on camera. And it is hard working on an area like this. We're not up and down. We're working upside down pretty much. So you're just spreading. This first layer is a sloppy layer. You guys get out of here. What I mean by sloppy layer, it doesn't have to be perfect. Just shove it in and scrape it in as deep as you can. Don't leave it thick and all you're doing is, when you leave excess on here, especially on the first layer, all you're doing is making a lot more work for you to sand. So shove it in there, wait the next day, and come back and then sand it, and then I'll show you the whole process until we get this thing smooth. You're gonna say this is unbelievable that this wall came out looking that nice when it's done, because I'm going to show you guys how to do it like a professional. There won't be no mistakes as long as you follow what I'm saying and what I'm doing. So shove it in there, shove it in all your cracks. Make sure that there is no shifting, shaking, because all the screws and the support that you have back there, your foundation is the most important thing. I think I said at the beginning. Being that your prep work If it's not perfect, then that's why you got problems. Don't sit here and blame me about it. Okay? So if you can't listen to what I just said, like I said, support behind it is strong and secure. This will be perfect. All right, so here I am shoving it into all these cracks. You got your drywall mesh on there. Put my bucket. Coming down here, try to go quick for you guys. Get enough of my putty knife that I think I need. So layer one, not very important to look real pretty, so just give it a second. It will get there. And the only reason I recorded this whole part for beginners who don't know or have never seen this or done this. Also fill in your screw holes. Just wipe it, one layer like that. Screw holes usually take about two to three coats, and then they look amazing, as if they were never there. Because of this, because when you're using mesh on a flat surface, so you got a tiny hair of a hump right here, when we come in on our second layer, you want to go in about maybe 2 or 3 inches away from all the border lines. That way it just looks amazing and smooth. But that's if I was like really, I'm not trying to do it, but I could do it, but leave like about a few inches and just graze it. That way it's already covered. But I'm trying to show you guys how to do it as a beginner, so that's why I'm not doing it with, I could probably finish this in 2 coats. 2 or 2 to 3 coats, and I would be done with this, but I'm showing you guys how to do it like a beginner, like I said. So make sure you shove it into those cracks in them corners, and don't stop playing with it until you're happy with it. And right now I'm pretty happy with it. I think I've captured every crack or corner and crevice, and I've shoved it in, and everything looks nice and smooth. You probably don't need a giant bucket for a hole like that, but I do a lot of drywalling, so that's why I always buy the big bucket. Okay, so that's layer one. Wait for it to dry, come back the next day, sand it, and we are gonna putty again, and we'll keep going until this thing looks beautiful. We sell these at big box stores for about a few bucks, and they're worth it. And sometimes it's good not to use a power tool if you're just doing a small area, because I do have a dual orbital sander, but to me it's just too powerful for this. Unless you're doing a whole house, whole wall, something like that, you know, get that little thing going over here in these corners. And you can get a better, smoother finish sometimes just using your hand. So smoothing this all out, and then we're gonna put a coat on it, and hopefully it'll only need one more coat after that. We'll be good to go. That hole is gone. You can paint it, ready to paint it. Just hitting these areas up. Get the wall nice and smooth. You could just see the outcome coming around. Coming out real nice. I mean, you really can't mess this up. Even if it takes you 4 applications, you'll see there's progress every time. So don't just do it once and then go paint it. You just made a big mistake, because once you paint that hump, if you got a little hump and you paint it, it's nearly impossible to get that out. You pretty much gotta scrape the wall with a razor or something. So get your finish real smooth before you paint. Do not paint until you know the thing looks like glass. You guys close up what's going on over here and how it looks. You can see it's almost smooth. I'm ready to put on a second coat. You can still see some of the fabric tape. You can still feel that little layer too, but once I put this other coat on, we should be getting somewhere. I like to blow the dust off so it doesn't dry up my compound when I put it on. But you can brush it off if you think you need to, with like a brush or something. And then drip right there. And even if you do start dripping this stuff, it's really easy to get out. And pretty much water is all you need. Sponge and water. See, just drop the blob, but no big deal. Nothing to panic about. I'd rather drop this on the floor than paint. Go, I'm doing a video. it all smooth. Like I said, spread it and just smush it right on the wall. Do not leave it thick. If you didn't catch the beginning that I said that. Do not leave it thick, just spread it real smooth. Come back and sand that the next day and continue on. You leave it thick, you're asking for more work for no reason. Alright. I think we're about done there. It's looking really nice actually. Kids over there singing countries, names of countries. Doesn't know I was making a video and trying to keep a little quiet. Not that I care, but sometimes people watch a video and say, shut them stupid kids up, which is just a little rude, I guess. Trying to teach you how to do something. You just know that. If you've ever had kids, you just gotta learn it sometimes. So I would just naturally block it out. Alright. That looks good to me. I'm going to zoom in on this so you guys can see what's going on. And I think one more coat on this and we're good to go. Let me crawl up here real quick. Climbing up a ladder for you guys. Alright, so you can see what's going on. I'll try to do it real close. You can see what's happening. It's looking good. I did sand it one more time. I don't have enough video footage for YouTube to show you guys how to sand it, which you guys already know how to do anyways. You saw me do it previously 3 times, but one more coat and this one is going to be done. And I'll show you a close-up of what it looks like when it is complete. Right here real quick, in about 30 seconds. Obviously you have to wait for it to dry before you can paint it. And you can go over it one more time with the sandpaper at the end of this. And this hole will be complete and you'll have a perfectly brand new wall. Just follow the steps in my video. Yeah, I didn't want the video to go to 15 minutes because YouTube won't allow me to play it for some reason. Don't know exactly why. And don't be afraid to go further out than you need to. Going further out hides any imperfections that may be there, but you're not going to have any if you follow the videos, or the steps, should I say. So, just like I said, don't leave any excess and just push real hard. A lot less sanding work for you guys to do. I'm trying to keep my big head out of the video there, so you guys don't say, hey, your head's in the way. But we are in a corner, it's hard for me to move that big head out of my way, or out of your way. Alright, so I'm just going to clean all this off. Clean what I mean by that, by scraping it all off. And then I'm going to show you guys how it looks close up. So, after that's sanded one more time, that is ready to paint. Let's go up real close right here. Oops. And climb up this ladder. Alright. So, as close as I can get to you guys can see that you now have a perfect wall after that's sanded one more time. You're hardly going to have to sand it because right now that thing is flat. Alright, so thanks for watching. Give me a thumbs up and hopefully this video showed you how to fill in a hole in drywall regardless of the size. If you have a big giant circle hole, you don't need as much support behind it. You only need the outer perimeter. That was actually, half of that was a beam that you saw, and I just ended up putting liquid nails on the back of 2x4s and sticking them on the back side, if you guys were wondering how I did that. So you only need, like, you know, 2 inches, a 2x4 right in the center of the crack, and put screws in on both ends for your support that you saw in the beginning of the video.